This is a digital technologies summary for Faith Lutheran College Plainlands. When we began this year the digital technologies project, we thought that our research question would be, and what we would focus on was project-based learning that uses digital technology, helps to cultivate the love of learning and challenge learners to realize their potential. We were looking at using the digital technologies as a hook to connect cross-curriculum. Our main aim really is the same as a digital technology syllabus, is to help future-proof our learners. With all the changes that are occurring in senior schooling, we know that critical thinkers who can pull knowledge from cross areas are going to do better under the new senior system. We started to look really why we were doing this, and we had the privilege of going to visit some schools that teach very holistically, and we looked at changing our research question really to look at holistic teaching that really envelops the love of learning and really allows students to see the opportunity of where subjects can potentially go and how they are linked together with their learning. So with that in mind, we realized that this project goes across a number of years. So our 2-year plan was, we really had a solid base set up for this year 7 being a transition year. We already had single disciplinary subjects, experienced subjects working. We had PEMS and HEX last year, which now have merged together to be a STEM and a HES. That in term 1 came up with a project that drew on their understandings of what it was to be a science maths student and be an English history student in the context of our school, Faith Lutheran College. We used the theme of belong and has set up a historical intervention and research project. And the STEM side, we're looking at moon exploration and the maths and science of gravity and forces, and using a product called Spheros. Using the theme, they were doing multidisciplinary approaches, so relating the concepts and trying to bring in these things. Belong unit was the time where we could start really hitting home and use the systems thinking, design thinking, and computational thinking across these ways, so that the children were used to thinking critically. Then for term 3, we looked at moving to an interdisciplinary model, where the HES and STEM classes that are on at the same time might start to open at intermediate areas and open the doors together so that they can show how science and history and English and maths can all work together. We're using the theme of Rome because on the history side they're learning about the Roman Empire and its spread and what supported it and what didn't. And in the STEM side, they're going to use those key architectural types of the aqueducts and the mills and the road systems that the Romans built to start bringing in some of the science and the maths and the engineering processes. Then we move to the last unit, which is a very transdisciplinary project based, where we'll look at the big pictures of a problem in the local community, and the students will come to some solution on how they can actually finish that product off. So when we wrote our project, we had criteria for success. So it really was to improve staff capacity, establish curriculum links, empower and engage students and teachers, and establish routines. So we started off with routines and thinking and computational. That was the plan. We then were blessed with the opportunity to use this Google grant. We had a 3-day workshop and the opportunity for them to use the Arduinos and to write cross-curriculum units. Well, now, as we get to the fourth unit, we'll be able to draw on all the information that the students have learned over the year, so that they can actually almost independently solve this problem that we have at Lake Apex. There was a huge workload for staff on integrating. There was a pedagogical change and thought process change about the role of assessment as well. And therefore many hadn't actually developed units of work before or written integrated assessment before, so they had to really dig deep and go through their curriculum. Removing silos was probably the biggest thing, so that we could set up a collaborative learning community so that teachers and students were actually learning off each other and supporting each other. That was something new for most of the staff, so it was a really different paradigm shift that they needed to make, which took time for everyone to get onto the same page as each other. The unintended outcomes, really a lot stronger understanding of the constraints that some subject areas have over others. The highlight was watching staff and students learning together with the Spiro's project and the Beginning Media project. Watching staff and students problem solve together and come up with solutions. It was messy at times, and getting staff to feel comfortable with problem solving being messy and that it's okay. That was an interesting journey to watch people with.